Hello, hello, hello. I'm pretty sure we're live. Okay, so today we're gonna be doing a little bit different than the norm. I usually stream Minecraft and, on Nationcraft SMP with a couple friends. It's fun. But today, instead, we're gonna be taking part in another one of my interests, which is game development. Um, Specifically on Roblox. I've been coding for about 10 years now, so I got a bit of experience. Not the best, it's all self-taught, so nothing industry standard really. Um, but yeah, on another note, while I use this orange avatar for gaming streams, I'm gonna be using a cool new one for development streams, which let me get that up. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we are. There we go. Enderman Fox. I feel it's more fitting for development than the other fox. It talks the same, so. Yeah, we work. Okay, my UI for today is gonna be a bit messy since it's my first time streaming. With this, it's a bit cut up because I have a super wide monitor, so I have to reorganize it a little so it's a better viewing experience for you guys. But here, let me switch to it. There we go. I hope it's digestible and not too small and not too messy. It's the best I could do in the limited time I had to set up for today's stream. But yeah. Honestly, I haven't fully decided on what game we're gonna be working on yet, so any ideas are still welcome. I'm probably gonna make, if you guys know Doors, some sort of dungeon crawler, horror dungeon crawler in this, not really style, but like, how Doors works basically. But I'm thinking I might add like survival and roguelite elements, which basically means you would have to find food and water as you're doing your runs, or bring food and water with you. You can upgrade your backpack, the amount you can carry, that sort of stuff. And rather than Doors, which has the bolt system for like a roguelite bolt system where you can buy upgrades and tools that you go in with, you will probably be able to bring some stuff out and sell it for, sell it for resources, and then almost like if you guys know Repo. You go in, you get stuff, you come back out, you can retain some of the stuff, you can sell it, buy better gear, go back in as a game loop. I'm definitely going to be focusing on making cooperative because it's Roblox. But other than that, I don't really know what kind of horror aspect I will have, what the locations are going to be like. I really don't know what the theming will be. Also, hello Dino, aka Stan and John Heap. Welcome to the stream. I know it's a bit unusual than the normal stream because I usually stream Minecraft, but yeah. Speaking of which, I honestly don't know where I should start with this. Just an empty base plate right now. Literally nothing. I could start with a bit of organization. I like to use modules, handlers, handlers, services, and then the same goes for the client side. Just a bit of organization. Why are you inverted colors? I'm not inverted colors. Inverted would look completely different. Just look up the inverted color of orange, which is not black. Basically, the orange one, hey Mally, the orange fox is the gaming fox, and this here is the development fox. I'm a bit more Enderman-like, as Mr. Past described earlier. yeah, thought it'd be cool to have a change of looks for each sort of thing. I might also make a unique background for development streams and have it be like ones and zeros or something cool like that, instead of the purple diamonds. Yeah. Okay. Wait, you have an idea, Melly? What's up? What if the background was Lua code? Honestly, that would work. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to play around with it because a bunch of text in the background can be disorienting. I want something simple that doesn't take away, you know? Also, my mic is a bit extra sensitive to it there. I'm not sure why, so you might see the fox popping up when I'm not actually talking. Just a little quirk. Okay, well, I've been doing a little much talking. Still not sure where to start. I'm gonna need some sort of generation if I want the thing to be random, the dungeons to be random. Definitely some sort of backpack and inventory system. Lots of UI, survival aspects. I'm finishing the show game from today. Okay, Dino. Took you long enough. I'm joking. Maybe even the hi Ethan, welcome to the stream. What do you mean what game? I'm just making a game. It's gonna be a roguelite, hopefully. Survival dungeon crawler. So imagine Doors, but with extra survival elements. And the game. Well, actually, it would be a game, because G is not a vowel. Sorry, Dino. I just realized how difficult this is gonna be keeping up with stream. I'm like, okay. He said he has written an book. Awesome. English grammar is fun, but not really. It's why I live in code instead. What do you mean he looks like him? A egg. Not. Oh my god, I know. Look, I'm just gonna reroute my attention over to this world over here, which is quite depressingly empty as of this moment. I just realized how difficult coding and streaming is going to be because streamer brain is a real thing. But we'll do our best anyway. I don't want to just blabber for 4 hours straight. That would be depressing. Not exactly sure how I want to go about this. Usually I'd sit here and make all my backend services like remotes, proximity prompts, tool handlers. The thing is, I don't even know what game I want to make yet. I don't have a style, I don't have a theme in mind. My throat is also not the most cooperative today. So, Roblox, what do we need? Do we want to keep the normal character or do we want to make a custom character? Custom little fox character would be cute. You know, like you're a little humanoid fox running around and then you can have a couple accessories maybe. But that's a custom character. Do I want to make a custom character or do I not want to make a custom character? I don't have a clear direction. I really should have come up with a clear direction before I started this stream. I gotta make a to-do list for myself at some point. Vampire Hunter-like game with horror would be low-key kinda tough. Devo, how do I make the minecraft go back onto the in the pumpkin farm? You just sort of line it up, Dino. Like, you make them in line with the iron bars and it's just pick it up on its own. Unless you broke something, which, yeah, I'll fix that later. Don't worry about it, we have enough pumpkins and emeralds. There you go, Dan. Dino, Dan. I haven't written a single line of code and we've been sitting here for 10 minutes. I need to get a move on this. Still don't know what to start with. That's annoying me. Okay, let's make a server handler. I'm also going to hop over to Discord because I have a layout I like to use. Let me just grab that. Pin messages, jump to this, and then here. This is basically just annotations and, you know, to structure the code a little more cleanly. So it's easier to find when you're looking. It's easier to debug because you know where everything is. This is going to be a server handler, meaning I'm gonna have a handle event with event as an input, which is gonna be a string. And then I'm just gonna run that with collection service, I'm pretty sure. Collection service is game service. Oops. I have caps locks. Caps locks is evil. Basically, what I'm going to do is for every event that comes in, I'm gonna have modules, which is collection service, if I can spell, get tagged, and I'm gonna create a unique tag, which is gonna be event colon, and it's gonna be event name. Actually, let me format that like this instead. Event name dish. Let's make that actually more clear instead of just event. Then I can just go loop through all the modules. Let's make this a capital because it's an instance at this point. And then do module. And then, how do I want to do this? Yes, Mali, Lua is yummy. Let's actually have event name, and then we can run that with all the variables, which I'm going to define as dot dot dot, so I can just input any into that function easily. First thing I'm going to want to do is have an event run when the player joins the game. So that's done with the player service, the player added connect function player, because player is actually an instance. I like to put, why are the brackets there? I like to capitalize my instances because it reminds me that they are in fact instances that are in the game world. And I can just handle event player added player. And now if I go, if I go to modules, let's make a player module, and then I'm gonna give it a tag, which is gonna be event colon player added. Well, Mali, organization is really important when it comes to code. It helps with debugging and also maintainability. It makes for decent systems. Let me grab my module layout, which is this. Simple organization again. You know, simple headers. These sometimes change around depending on the module I'm making. But in event handling, I can do please function module dot player added, and then player is going to be passed into here. And if I do print player dot name, actually, when I join the game, that should just print my name in output. Should, though it doesn't seem like it doesn't appear to have done that. Name player added, that's spelled correctly. Oh, I misspelled the tag. Event colon player added. I added an extra D on the end. That is my fault. Player added is not a valid member. What do you mean it's not a valid member? It is right here. I'm pretty sure I didn't misspell it either. Player added. Player added. It's not a valid member. Oh, I know why it's not a valid member, because I completely forgot to get the module. Module is require module. There you go. Now that we actually get the module, it works as it intended. Also, you guys might see me moving my mouse around to the top left here and like going to my output in the bottom right. That's gonna be a bit disorienting because I do have mine set up completely different than you guys see on the screen. But that's because, again, I have an ultra-wide monitor and it's a bit hard to represent that in 16 by 9, I think, or 9 by 16 resolution on YouTube. Okay, that runs when the player is added, which is awesome. We are going to want to set up a player every time this happens, and I might actually just use object-oriented programming for this. So, base player is that. Base player's index is itself. If I can create an internal function called function initialize player, perfect. New player is a table with the meta table of base player, that is fine. New player.player is player. I'm probably gonna, yeah, that'll be fine. And we just need to return the new player. We also are going to want to create a table of players. Lowercase b, which I'm going to be inserting players based on user ID. So players, please, players, square brackets, player.userID is new player. So this should let us re-get the same table if we were to access from a different script without having to recreate the entire table. Nice game you making. Yes, I'm making a cool game, hopefully door style survival-esque. I'm honestly not sure yet. I'm just working on it. We'll see where it leads us. We'll see where it leads us. Okay. So when the player is added, we want to make a new player, of course. So we're gonna initialize them, which creates the player table, puts it into the player module. We will also want a get player object function, which is going to take, let's have it take the user ID, which is just number, because that's what it finds the player back, and then return players.user ID. However, I am going to make a redundant safety check, which is completely redundant. I'm gonna check if player user ID, and if it's not, so if it doesn't exist, then it will reinitialize the player. Oh, I don't actually. Why'd you break the bamboo farm, Dino? If I get player service in here, actually, local player equals game service players, I can go players get player by user ID, just double checking the AI is not hallucinating. Yep. And I can pass players, and then that will initialize player, and then I'll just return that. I'll also write a warning. Warn. Let's do this slightly differently. Local player is get the player. Player dot name was not initialized, and then I can switch this to just be player. There we go. Hi Soul, welcome to the stream. Basically the bamboo isn't leaving the first chest, and so isn't crafting the planks. Button fell into the auto wild. To add context on what Dino is talking about, usually I stream Minecraft, just playing, and we have a bamboo farm and he's fixing that right now. Though I should be focused on coding. Hello Butterscotch. Welcome to a new type of stream. Well, compared to what I usually do. Like I said, I usually do Minecraft, but this is another interest of mine, coding. Might be, I don't know. I hope you guys enjoy it at least. Where was I? Right, I'm creating a unique player object which I can use for example, inventory storage. Inventory tracking. So, if I wanted, I can go new player, that's not that, new player dot inventory, not user ID. Why would I want there? And then I can initialize that as a table, and then I can put things into the table. Loki forgot I was using Spanish. Well, Butterscotch, that happens to me too. I'm bilingual as well, meaning I speak English and my native is actually Hungarian. And sometimes I just genuinely forget what language I'm speaking because they both come fluently, you know? And then of course I also speak code. But that's not really a language, that's just computer communication. Yeah, I can add an inventory object, and this I can track what players pick up. So I think I'm actually gonna do that system first. Maybe with a custom, maybe with a bit of custom, what's it called, proximity prompt. I don't actually know how to make a custom proximity prompt, I've never tried. Okay, let's have an item module then. Item module, and I'm probably gonna make a proximity module as well. Let's call it the full thing proximity prompt, just for... What are you counting, Mr. Pasta? What are you counting? I'd like to know. Four, five, six. What are we counting, Mr. Pasta? Come on. Tell me. Can't keep it a secret. That's evil. I want XP. You're XP farming. Okay, Mr. Pasta. Are you trying to have the stream crown again? Is that it? um, okay. So we're gonna be using proximity prompts. If I add a part into workspace, this is gonna be a temporary part. Make sure it is anchored, and we are gonna add a proximity prompt. Proximity prompt. I'm also going to tag this proximity prompt, which is I'm just gonna call it proximity prompt. This will basically be a registered proximity prompt I can use for whatever. Actually, no, I don't remember you off the top of my head right now. It's probably been a while, and my memory sucks, so. Nice to see you again, though. Proximity prompt tags, proximity prompt tag, meaning I can just do proximity. Oops, I forgot I duplicated it instead of making a new module. Wait, who's XP farming? Mr. Pasta was XP farming by saying numbers in chat so he can get number 1. Yeah, he's evil. It's been a while. I used to play on your Minecraft server with Mixie and some other guy. I think I remember the name Mixie, but I genuinely don't remember anything else. Yeah, that Mixie, great, my XP is back 0. Rip Mr. Pasta. I mean, that's why you don't XP farming, you actually just engage. So, may I suggest random stuff to be added in the game? My name used to be Dizzy. Yeah, that doesn't ring a bell, sorry soul. But, yeah, Karen, sure. Yeah, you can suggest stuff. Might not actually make it into the game, we'll see. But, yeah, don't steal my number 1. I know. Stop being so competitive. Let someone else have number 1 for now. The reason it's being so competed for, the 12 fans thing, is because I have my Discord in the description. If you join that and you get number 1 during a stream, you get to hold something called the stream crown. And yeah. Like number 3, bro. Dino, just work on that. You've been demoted from number 2. Actually, from number 1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you were number 1, you got all the way demoted to number 3. But yeah, as I've said, you guys can suggest stuff, and I might just add it to the game. Depends if it fits the theme. It's not rigged, Dino. Have I ever played Factorio? Let me tell you, actually. Let me open Steam real quick. Factorio, I have 122 hours. I've played a little. I've never completed it, but I've played a little. It's fun. Factory games are fun. They're addicting. Though, if I were to stream that, I'd probably need to do like a 12-hour stream. Because, like, yeah. It's a long game. Like, I'm not even sure how I'm gonna spit a lot of coding into this stream. Kinda guess, since I remember you love Crate. Yeah, Crate mod is awesome. Butterscotch Factory? Hell yeah. I got 4K hours of Minecraft, and Dino, what the heck? That is an insane amount. Go touch grass, please, I beg you. It would be healthy for you. Okay, let me add another handler. This is gonna be the prompt handler, which is everything to do with proximity prompts. I'm gonna keep this, but instead it's gonna be done with the module that is in storage services of server script service. Get service, server script service. It is going to be server script service dot modules dot proximity prompt module, and we're gonna make sure to require this so we can actually use the functions inside it. Add a realistic house with 2 other houses on each side to look like a neighborhood. Wait, I missed a bit of chat. What happened here? 500 hours on Geometry Dash is actually crazy. Realistic house. I might do something like that. I'm not sure I can do realistic. I'm not that good, but definitely will have some sort of neighborhood. Since this game is gonna be a potential roguelike game, what probably gonna be waves? What if like every 5th wave you added like a store to buy upgrades and weapons? I'm probably gonna go for more of a door style gameplay where you're, you know, running through a dungeon instead of waves. So it would be rooms instead of waves. And possibly each room might have a different small puzzle. Or every couple of rooms there's a puzzle. I don't know. I don't necessarily know what I'm going for yet, but I just have doors and repo in my mind as games I really like. So I'm probably gonna add dashing because, yeah, fun movement is always fun. Fun movement is always fun. Yes, I am really good at speaking. Combo. What do you mean a combo, Dino? I can't grant XP manually. That's not a thing I can do. You gotta chat for it. Hi, Assassin. How's life? Ooh, I just realized something. Okay. I'll do it like this. Prompt in collection service get tagged proximity prompt do. Let's actually spell this right. Prompt prompt prompt, and it's going to be a proximity prompt. And for each of those, I can set up events. Life's alright. I'm doing okay. Just doing some coding. Repo and Geometry Dash is top 5 combos. Repo and Geometry Dash would be an insane combo. What game are you working on? Working. What game are you working on? Working. Spelling is fun. I don't know. It's meant to be like coding is kind of difficult for me. I mean, coding is difficult for everyone. It just depends what everyone specializes in. For example, I really love coding, so it really flows. What I'm working on, Assassin, is hopefully a survival roguelike dungeon crawler. I think that is the compound of words I want to be using for this. You know, mostly inspired by doors on Roblox, if you know that game. But I also don't want it to be a hotel, but we'll see. It's gonna have more survival aspects rather than running through a hotel. Words. That's what I'm struggling with right now. Okay, prompt dot. I don't actually know the events. Let's have triggered as one. That works. And let's switch this around so it's prompt first and then it's player. Just for a bit of organization on my end. Meaning I can add a event handler for function module dot triggered, and that can be given the prompt, which is a proximity prompt, and the player, which is a player. Cool. Can you showcase the game so far after this script? A cat has spawned in the industrial district. W. Add pasta. Pasta is an item you can find, possibly. Like little cups of instant pasta, instant noodles. Bro deserves way more subs. Well, I'm working on it. I'm just streaming and chilling. As for showcasing the game, the script is literally all there is. I just started today. Like 36 minutes ago. A butterscotch. My whole gimmick is art, as you can see on my profile picture. It's just one of my drawings. Oh, that is a pretty nice drawing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone has their own gimmicks. For example, mine is scripting, but I'm gonna be, you know, slightly working on my artistic, my UI, my sound design, my lighting, my building, you know, that sort of stuff, because I am working on this game on my own. And it's nice to learn other things. It makes you better in a team because you actually know what happens on what goes on. But yeah, I personally specialize in scripting. That is my main sort of existence. Print. That is not what I want. Print. I just want triggered. I just want to check if it works, which it doesn't. Module event name. Attempt to call a nil value. Did I? Oh, because I accidentally put the event player added tag on the proximity prompt module, which it does not belong there. That is my fault. There we go. Does the prompt work? Okay, the prompt registers as triggered. Trying is supposed to be a representation of bullying, something that I did go through back then. Yeah, bullying sucks. It's... I don't want to say it's a necessary evil, but it's an evil that just exists. And not a lot of people do about anything about it, which is sort of sad. I didn't have to go through it. I was mostly just a quiet kid in the back of the school, the back of the classroom. You know, I just liked keeping my head down and learning. But yeah, bullying sucks. Some people are just evil. Don't know how else to define it. Add a police station. I might add a police station. We'll see. Again, I'll have to see what sort of rooms end up there being. What I'm getting the vibe of is there's probably gonna be some sort of neighborhood dungeon, I guess. Let's call it a dungeon. Don't know what else to name it right now. Yeah, Assassin is trying to figure out how to use Blender. Blender is fun. Blender is difficult. I know a bit of Blender, a couple tips, a couple tricks with it, but I am not the most comfortable with it. I will be using Blender for this project, but probably not in today's stream. I'm mostly gonna be using what's it called? I'm mostly gonna be focusing on systems today. Soul wants me to add grenades. I might. How would that work? What would that work for? I need monsters to kill if I add grenades. Not sure. Grenades. Grenades? Okay. What do you mean you found a chunky salmon in Minecraft, Dino? And yes, Dino, you got demoted again. You're not even third anymore. You can use it to troll your teammates. Okay. I'm gonna have to go through this stream after I'm done with it and just note down all your ideas. And then sift through them, see which ones I'm actually gonna put in. But grenades sound fun. Okay, let's make this a test block. Test. let's group that. And this is gonna be, well, test. I'm gonna use this handling with, ooh, how do I want to do that? Because I'm already separately registering the proximity prompts. How do I want to handle this? Because I need to somehow tell it to use the item module. Welcome to the Discord, Soul. Thanks for joining. I want to join so bad, but I'm scared to ask, and I'm also not good. What do you want to join? Like, if you want to try join the project, this is a solo project, specifically so I can improve a lot of my skills that I don't usually get to work on since I am mainly a scripter. You know? Let's see. Welcome, people, humans, to the Discord. Thanks for joining. I usually announce when I stream there, so, or if I cancel stream, you know, because IRL stuff. Probably what I'm gonna want to make a changelog channel, so if I do any updates off stream, I can put that in there. I think I'm gonna change how I handle this. I'm gonna, instead of having this tagged as proximity prompt, I'm gonna tag this as item prompt. Item prompt, yes. And then here, this is gonna look through item prompts. Item prompt, I spelled that right, I hope. Item prompt, and then it's gonna register those. And here, we're gonna be handling it a little differently. It's gonna be module name and then triggered. And for this, I'm gonna do item module, and this is gonna find it over here. Modules, square, find first child, and then this is gonna be module name, because that is what's being passed over. It's gonna find the module by that name, gonna require it, and then it's gonna run the triggered event. Okay, that should work. Folks, though, when you make a new game, you should make so all your subscribers join and edit it. It'll be so cool. The issue with everyone being able to join and edit it is they could put in malicious code and it would become, honestly, a little too chaotic. So it's not really a thing I can do just because of how people are. I got a ping. Where did I get a ping? You once tried to teach me leaderboard saves on Roblox. Oh, I tried to teach you back probably years ago then. Yeah, let's just say it works the same, but I have better methods for it now. Because, you know, I've learned over the years. Actually, let me, this one, if I click message, we definitely have a message history. Oh, we have a message history of me ghosting you accidentally because I'm ADHD and completely forget to respond. We used to play FNAF Tower Defense together. Alex, I've been learning luau for about 10 years now. Yeah, just about 10 years. That is a horrifying thought, considering I'm only 20. That's half my life. Yeah, that's probably what's happened, so. But yeah, about 10 years. I'm not the most proficient because everything I know is self-taught, but yeah. Also, I'm a bit slow because I'm streaming, and I have to focus on two different things. Um, what was I doing? Requires the appropriate module and then fires the triggered event. This is probably going to be deleted. In theory, oh, I again duplicated the module. Because why wouldn't I duplicate the module? Because I'm a little stupid, that's why. I don't need this, just the organization. There. This is going to have a triggered event. Triggered, which is going to get the prompt and the player. Just double checking that that is in fact what is passed. Double dots, prompt player. Okay. From that, we can do handling. If it's an item, it's the item prompt. It has to be an item. We can do local item equals prompt find first ancestor of class model. That gets us the. Well, look, I forget people exist. I also didn't use this account for a long time. It was on an alt for a bit, and yeah, this is my work account now. That's why I'm back to it. Separate personal and what I was so mad yesterday and the other day that, but right now I'm in a more better mood. That's nice to hear, Butterscotch. It's always nice when people find a chance to feel better, especially if they are angry and upset. Like, I was a bit upset the last 2 days because of my personal life going a little awry, but here I am, enjoying a bit of coding with you guys, so yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I've never used this function before, so it's a bit scary, but hopefully it'll actually find what I'm looking for and work as I think. I'm gonna make my mental a bit worse and place a Factorio. Don't lose your sanity to Factorio. I know it's tempting, but and the factory must go. The factory must grow. The factory must bloody grow. Welcome back, assassin. Where was I? Right. I changed it up a bit so the prompt now refers directly to this module instead of the proximity prompt module, which is likely going to be deleted. Just for a bit more cleanliness, more orientation. And this I'm gonna want this to pick up the item, I think. Yeah, let's have it pick up the item. Because it is specifically an item prompt, we are going to want the player module, which means we're going to want to have the server script service in here. Script service is game get service, server script service. Other module is going to be local player module is require server service modules the player module. I don't need you to require yourself. Player module, right? Yeah. We are going to make an internal function of picking up an item. Function pick up item, and this is going to be given the player that's picking it up and the item that's being picked up. Let's see. I'ma hope my goofy factory doesn't get raided by the little ankle biters. Yeah, the ooh, what are they called? They're not called Zerg. That's StarCraft. I forget what they're called. They're just biters, aren't they? Just biters. Yeah, biters are evil. Biters are especially evil on Deathworld. There's way too many of them to keep up with. But the factory must grow and it must prevail even if it means displacing those evil little biters. That's just factorial though. That's how the game plays. We want to pick up the item. The item is going to have a name. And we're going to have this over here. We're going to have player functions. Since it's OOP, so we can assign the player object functions. We can do function base player, and this, I'm gonna have this be grant item. Give item works, and item is just going to be a name. So this is item name string and amount number. This should just be able to go self dot inventory item name plus equals amount. Hey Fox, I'ma go. See ya. Have a nice day. See ya, Assassin. Have a good one. Hope to see you again sometime. I'm also gonna add a check. If not, self item name, then self item name is amount, and then we can return. Basically, just in case it doesn't recognize it and it can't add to a non-existent, because if it doesn't exist, this is going to be nil, and it can't add to a nil number because the nil number doesn't exist. So if it doesn't exist, if not self item name, actually no, this is wrong. This needs to be self.inventory.item name. And I capitalized that because I am a little bit stupid. Let's fix that. Inventory. There. Okay, let's have another go at explaining that, because I just realized a bug. Thankfully, I re-explained it. Basically, there's an inventory table. If the item doesn't already exist in the inventory, it'll set it to the amount. If it doesn't already exist, it'll give an additional amount of it. And the reason this is important is because if it doesn't exist, it is going to try to add nil plus amount. Which you can't do because nil is not a number. God, I just explored a bit into my pollution and found some medium-sized nestlings. I died. Well, the biters do expand and evolve and grow and attack. And yes, Ethan, I do be working. A lot has happened. Well, not that much considering it's been an hour, but I'm usually a little faster, but I'm multitasking here with streaming at the same time. Knew while I was gone I got raided. No! They raided you? They're evil. How dare the biters raid you? Grr. What was I doing? Right. That should add the item to the inventory. And then I am going to, just for the sake of clarity, actually, let's make this 0. So it initializes and then it adds the amount. Makes the code a little cleaner without having a random workaround. Print, and then I can print the inventory out. Over here in pickup item, I can do local player object is player module get player object, get the user ID, and then we're gonna give them the item and then destroy the item. You know, Roblox's generative AI is sometimes useful, but you just gotta make sure you've read over it again. To make sure it doesn't do anything too stupid. And just to make this clear, player here is a player. The item here is a model. There we go, just clarifying that up. And then that's also clarified here. Alright, so in theory, if I walk up to this cube, it will pick it up, and there will be a test in my inventory. That did not work. Find first ancestor, which is A, is not a valid member of... Okay, so this doesn't exist. Come on, pause. I don't want to be in testing mode and editing at the same time. It's probably just the capitalization. Find first ancestor of class model should work. And then it should just run pickup item on the player and item. Checking that out. Yup, it picked it up, and there is a test item in my inventory. That basically makes a functional inventory system. Well, the back end of it, I still need the UI front end at some point, but yeah. No, well, what's going? You still have the same avatar from like 3 years ago. Yes, I do. I don't change much. I don't see much of a point to change because this just works, you know? Plus, it's recognized as me. Why would I change it? The skeleton of the inventory system. Yes, Valley, the skeleton. The skeleton has been put in place. In theory, just to test, I should be able to just duplicate this a couple times. And then pick all of them up. And it just counts. Yeah, I picked up 6, it gives me 6 in the inventory. Okay, that's good. It's important to double check your work because otherwise you're gonna have bugs that slide under the radar until it's too late. I changed like every 20 days, bro. Such a waste, but I'm terminated now, so no waste of money. Aw, that's sad. Pick all of them up. I said pick. I swear I said pick. I said pick all of them up. I was just talking quickly. That is probably why it merged into pick all of them up. Yeah, I need to speak more clearly and possibly slowly. But we'll see. The inventory works at least. Inventory works. It took me an hour to make a simple inventory system. That is lame. That is very lame of me. Okay, yeah, no, I just had a mini heart attack. What? Pickle, yes, pickles. You know what, just because of that, I'm probably gonna add a pickle jar. I just realized that when I write the letter N, it looks like I'm trying to use a Russian letter. What? Just trying to be evil? Is that what I'm hearing? How did I have 11 people watching for a second? That gave me a little bit of I can't speak. That gave me a little bit of stage fright for a second. I am not used to having more than 6 or so people. Okay, where was I? Item system. In theory, if I just take this item and then make it a different color, just so it's distinct, and then I name it something else, let's call it green, and then I test again. If I pick up all the regular ones and green in the inventory, it should have a different, yes, it is differentiated. Okay, that works. Functioning inventory system. Awesome. Do we want to put a limit on the inventory system? Sure. set storage limit, and then this can just be a number. And I can just go new, let's actually initialize that here. New player dot storage limit is, let's just say 0 to start off with. And I can set the storage limit self dot storage limit is the new limit. I still like doing presentations, but I sadly will have to do one day. I just don't know when though. Well, it's important. Public speaking and general communication with people is important to practice either way. It's one of the reasons I started streaming, because I usually do struggle with communicating. And it's helpful. It makes me more open, because I'm usually a quiet and closed off person. And yeah, it is a bit rough, and I do dislike doing it to an extent, but I'm slowly warming up to it. Stop with the pickles! Please, stop with the pickles. Why are we doing pickles now? I know I said pickle accidentally, but come on, let it go. Let's see. I'm going to want an internal function, which is gonna be count items, and it's gonna get the inventory, which is gonna be a table, so just squirrely brackets. For local count is 0, or I underscore item in inventory do count plus equals item, and then we'll just return the count. That should just count how much total items are in the inventory. And over here I can expand this give item function and look for something like do something along the lines of doing type checking, which could look like local count guide amounts self.inventory. Actually, let's just do number of items. And then we can compare that with the item limits. If number of items plus amount is more than the storage limit, then warn inventory full and return false. Yeah, that works. And we can also return true on the end here. That makes it so when we call it over here, if no, local success is that, yeah, no, that is the wrong thing. I need to do that here. There, local success is that. If not success, not script, if not success, it's not successful, then it return. And so it doesn't destroy the item if the person can't pick it up. Oh god, chat went burr. Mally adds pizza. At least I was telling the truth about the farm. Tomato. Add pickle pizza. Pickle pizza! Okay, that'll be a food item now. Thanks for the suggestion, Soul. Are you gonna be like Ara? Like a arrow works on the game and never completes it. Add pickle Pepsi-O. Pickle Pepsi? Interesting. Mr. Pasta, I'm gonna do my best to finish this game because otherwise I never get to practice all ends of game development, you know? I'm not gonna be like my little brother that never actually completed it. Grr. I'm also going to aim to stream this once a week among Minecraft as well, because like, you know, gets me there. No, it's because it's motivation to keep working on the game. I also need to work on my speech skills, so yeah. Another thing this will help me with is my ability to think and speak at the same time, because I need to think for coding, but also speak to the stream to entertain them, so yeah. I have a lot of, why am I using so many filler words? And the thing is, I'm noticing it, and it's I'm throwing myself off. Okay, we're picking up the item, if it is possible. If it's not, we're not picking up the item. Double checking that we're just returning in the right place, inventory full, indeed. At a Walmart, wait, Pickle Pepsi mentioned, Diva, I DM'd you a Pickle Pepsi. What do you mean? Is that an... Oh, good lord. Oh, good lord, I don't want to watch that. You've heard of orange cream milk, but have you ever heard of butterscotch milk? Butterscotch milk actually sounds decent. Add a Walmart. Okay. I don't think I can add a Walmart because the company has a copyright over its logo and name. Trademark, sorry. So, probably not happening. Add a donut van that's hidden somewhere with the code donut to enter and you can drive it around. Ever heard of pickle meat? Soul? Why? Why pickle meat? Why would you even come up with such a thing? Call it walnut. What do you mean walnut? I am so confused at where this chat is going currently. Hmm. Also, I keep... Okay. Here. When we initialize the player, which is over here, let's set the storage limit to 5 items. In theory, since we have more than 5 items placed, I can run through and it should warn me that my inventory is full. Okay. That's perfect. Yo, question. What's the easiest way to remember what you learn? My way, I'm currently learning luau, but have been for a while, but struggle with remembering how to just code on the spot. Any tips? For me, what really works is sort of learning as I go. For example, at the start, I watched the very basics, so you know what properties are, you know, just actually understanding the coding environment. And what helps if I, for example, watch a tutorial on data stores, I'll watch it, I'll go code it, you know, I'll code an example, you know, to practice using it to try get into working memory, because then you remember it better because you've actually used it because you're properly understanding the content. And then coming back to it a couple days later and then trying to code it again. And if you can't, you go back, watch the tutorial, you're like, oh, that's how it's done. You know, and just repeating a couple times. That's how I remember a lot of the things I do. And quite a lot over the 10 years that I know how to do is because I've been using it for 5 or so more years, and a couple of the systems and setups I invented. For example, the way I use handlers and modules, I came up with that system to help myself code better. Yeah, that's how I do it at least. It might not work for you, but it's always worth a shot. I will say, however, I still do a lot, for example, raycasts. I'm not really confident with raycasts, so I will always open the Roblox documentation for it. Right, I'll just search up Roblox raycasting, and then I'll open up the documentation and then read through that. That'll help me figure out what and where. And in general, don't be afraid to look at the documentation. It's there for using it. It's there to help you, you know? It's there to help you new things, it's there to help you remember. Especially if you're doing like a niche thing. For example, last time I was using raycasting, I was making a trench system which needed to be aligned to the terrain, so I had to raycast a ray down on each end of it and then use matrix rotation manipulation to rotate it to the terrain based on the data of the raycasts. That was a doozy to make. A lot of maths, way too much paper. But yeah. The part I'm horrible at is tables, and that's like a main thing people use. Yeah, tables are important to learn. I can't, it's pretty difficult to explain. There's multiple types of tables. For example, let me just do this. You have a regular table, which is just a list. You know, you can have any sort of variable in it. You can even have instances, workspace.test for terrain, for example. It's just a list of items. Another type of table is a dictionary. The unique thing with dictionaries is, if I can actually type, is they have different integer value? No, they have different instance value. They have different definitions. So you can be like key is the value. The main difference is, if I do value here, the main difference is the index of this will be 1, the index of this will be key. So with the table, I can do print table 1, and that will print value. And with the dictionary, I can do print dictionary, and then it will be key instead of 1, which will print value. The key is the code. Sorta, I guess you could do that. I'm really not trying to learn luau for games but cheats, but I'm struggling, you know, but I still look at like Roblox Dev forum. I mean, okay, what you're specifically doing there, which I don't really condone because cheating makes games not the most fun. You know, it takes away from the experience. However, what you're doing is script injection, meaning you're abusing a vulnerability inside the actual code of a game, and you're running a Lua script. It's pretty easy to defend against. You just avoid using vulnerable remotes, but it's basically Lua code as well. It would run exactly like you would run a game, probably on the server. So structuring is not that much of an importance because, yeah, you just have a module that runs in itself. The key is the code, basically. What about meta tables? Add a generic mol. I can definitely add a generic mol, Carney. Ethan, meta tables? I can't really help with that because I myself don't really understand them either, but I do use them. For example, over here, right? I use them for object-oriented programming. From what I know, meta table basically is just the self-reference. Yeah, it's basically just self-reference along with index over here. It means I can have a bit of code go into this table, and then I can be like, oh, does this table have a function? Actually speaking, it does not have a function, but because I set its meta table to the same as base player, it can be like, oh, this table doesn't have a function, does base player have a function? And yes, base player has the function. That's the best way I can explain it. But again, that might not be accurate. I've just started using OOP and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty simple by just using simple spy, get the remotes, then just hook them. Yeah. It's also important for a game dev like myself to actually know how cheats like that work, because then we can make anti-cheats and fight you guys. It's a fun little back and forth. Ethan, think of dictionaries as arrays, except you use the key to access the element instead of the position of the value. If you know C++, it's basically just the map library. Yeah, can't argue with that. That's a lot clearer than I put it down. My main issue is since I am self-taught and I don't really have anything industry standard, I can't really explain things with words, but I can show you examples because it's the examples that are stuck in my brain, not the actual, description of what it is. So basically, I'm just waffling, trying to explain things, trying to sound smart when I'm really not. The inventory system works, the limit works. What else? What are you working on? Uh, a game. Don't really have a really clear direction other than the fact that it is going to be inspired by doors. You know, for example, having that sort of dungeon crawler aspect while being a horror game. But I do wanna. It's probably gonna be more similar to a backroom style game because it's gonna involve more survival elements. And if you know repo, for example, like you collect items, you exfiltrate, and then you sell those items, get upgrades. That's the sort of rough idea I'm working with. I'm just getting decent systems in place and see where it goes. Um, Ethan asks, when do you use module scripts and why? I know you use them as to not repeat yourself. Um, Personally, I rarely don't use module scripts, even if it's to avoid repeating even if it's not to avoid repeating myself. Mostly because you can access them from wherever and you can make generalized systems rather than having one specific script that does a lot. Well, module scripts do a lot, but they're modularized and you can call them from different places. I don't know. I just work on with module scripts. It's the easiest structure. I just find it the easiest to work with module scripts and then have a handler script to run it. Oh cool, I'm also working on a backrooms game. It's just practice though. It's more of a procedural maze and survival game. That's also pretty cool. I'm personally not exactly sure how I'm gonna do the procedural generation part of the dungeons yet. Um, Probably gonna do something along the lines of having a base layout and then having probably with attachments entrances marked. So it can take two items, two sections, and then step them together based on the entrances. And then, just some sort of randomizer for that. With probably a weighted randomizer, to be completely honest with you, so I can make some rooms more common, some rooms more rare. Um, I probably also look into making it parallel instead of linear, which means having it run on multiple threads instead of one. I'll have to see how I can make that work because it's going to be a bit difficult having multiple things trying to generate at the same time. But it would make it faster and more efficient than single-threaded. I don't know. That's just my current outlook on it. Outlook? That's a messaging platform. That's how it exists in my brain right now. I'm mostly just working on an inventory system to get the pickup stuff done. I need to figure out removal. Actually, that should be pretty easy with function base player remove item name amount. Yeah. Just there. Oh, I also gotta make sure I have enough items in there. Where are we? Yeah, I wanted to make a survival game with a Rust-type building system that I use attachments, but I have commitment issues when it comes to developing that Vulcan. That is something important to work on, because I've started 1,000,001 projects, but I don't have anything released. I also have commitment issues. That is part of why I started streaming it, is hopefully the streaming will like motivate me to focus on one thing. I would probably make a node system where all rooms are on a grid and mesh together, and the nodes have a taken attribute, of course, the door checks too. Yeah, probably a node system. Nodes. You could probably do nodes, but my one issue with nodes is that makes it feel more static. Yeah. So you have, for example, one node here, a node 5 blocks here, node over here, and then using that and then applying it like a grid almost. That's what I'm understanding. The issue with that is that limits the size of rooms to something like that, you know? The grid is very limiting. So you'd need to be able to add different rooms, and I want to also add different shaped rooms. And I don't just mean, oh, I want, for example, an L shape. I want to be able to have that, have like an L shape, but also be triangular, as in have a slanted side. I also want to be able to make it so it can have multiple rooms that are technically part of one. It could take us multiple node spaces, but that be less versatile, I feel like. Because I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I was thinking of having some rooms be procedurally generated as well. Meaning, it could have a door here, or it could have that same door here, or it could have two doors, you know? And then based on that, I don't know, it just feels like I can create more variety if I do something like this instead of a static node. Because then I could have a room that goes here, you know, and it's offset rather than stuck to a node. Should make the spaces more confusing rather than being stuck to a grid. It, you know, it makes it harder to map out in your head, which I don't know if is a good thing. We'll have to see. Yeah, there would be more checks, but at the same time, it could just generate a room which just fits. Like, I don't want to sit here and make, you know, a specific type of room and then have a list of rooms that can generate. I want to make a procedural system that you give it a room, right? Yeah, math.random basically just repeats itself. And don't worry about me making randomly procedurally generated things. I made a procedural terrain generator before, so I know how it works. A good thing math.random could be useful for is if you want set seeds, meaning, yeah, if you want set seeds, so you can reuse seeds. You know, for example, you have a Minecraft seed, it will always generate the same world. You can use that with math.random. I'm pretty sure you can also use that with random instances, though I'm not really sure about that. Anyways, what I was saying is, I don't really want to sit here and make 50 different rooms. Did you use a... Yeah, I used a noise map. I think. Perlin noise, I think it was. I basically layered multiple Perlin noise maps for height values, humidity, that sort of stuff. How do you make random terrain? Like Ethan just said, you make a noise map and then you add triangles and you make it follow the noise map. It's a lot of maths. I'd open it, but it's a bit of a mess of a code and might crash my computer right now. I'm gonna go and see if I can try and make something like that, because why not? Alright, Ethan, do share your results. My one ended up being really laggy because, yeah, I never bothered to make it parallel, so it's just linear and it just forces everything in a couple milliseconds. It's not the healthiest. Basically, what I'm saying, though, is I want to actually procedurally generate the rooms. Like, I'll give it a room shape, and then it'll decorate it. Like, oh, here's a wall, let's put a painting over a little thing. We can have this wall be a specific puzzle. You know, that sort of stuff. Because I want to make a couple types of puzzles that you have to solve, and then that be able to be reused in different rooms. I'm probably not going to be using a tile system. It would be the same as a node system. Can you let the sink in? It's filling up with rain. What? What? Why is there a sink outside? I'm confused. Ethan. Let that sink in. What? My brain just short circuited. Brain short circuit, help. Error 404. Oh my god. You did not just send me a picture of a sink outside. Ethan! I'm not gonna let the sink in. Not letting that sink in. Oh my god. It sunk in. It sunk in. I'm a little slow, as you can tell. A bit stupid. Mr. Pasta, no. No, stop. No sinks. Look, just because of that, I might just make a puzzle where there's a knocking sound, you open the door, and there's a sink. And you can choose to let it in or not. And if you let it in, it becomes a monster that chases you down. Okay, where was I? Inventory system. I made the inventory system. The inventory system has limits. I'm making a remove. Item remove. I need to check if it has enough. If item name is less than amount, then not enough items and return false. Else you take it away and then return true. Okay, that works. I'm a little slabbesk. How long have you been deving for? On this game, literally just this stream. I just started on it today. In general, I've been scripting for about 10 years now. Yeah, it's been a while. And it's a horrifying fact considering I'm only 19. That's over half of my life. With me, it was just like, I was in school, I found school a little boring, so I was like, might as well learn something extra at home, and then I started coding, and I haven't stopped. Honestly, I find it more enjoyable than playing games, because you're actually creating your own world. It is real. Remember how my games were made? I thank God I got terminated. I mean, even if your games are bad, it is still a spot to start if you're interested in coding. Like, this is just in general. You might make a game, you might not like it, but still, you made it. You know? That's something to be proud of. Even if it's bad, you can always grow and improve if it's something you're interested in. Or do you use custom inventory system, or do you use tools? I'm probably gonna be making a custom inventory system. Probably. I'm gonna struggle with the UI, because I always struggle coding UI, but we'll make it work. And I will be using tools to an extent of actually equipping things, because I want to be able to use the unequipped event, used event, the built-in events. So it'll be a hybrid, I guess, but it'll have custom UI. And the things that won't be able to be equipped, it'll just be in the dictionary of what's in the inventory. I remember I worked on a pretty big project one time. Some Polish guys invited me and they fired me because I didn't know how module scripts work. Yeah, module scripts are important these days. Not a big projects use them. Well, I mean, I want to code on Roblox, except I'll get terminated within 2 days. Why would you be terminated within 2 days? So, and Vulcan, I've been part of a couple big projects and almost an even bigger one. I've been a part of Red Liberation, which I don't think you can make new accounts if terminated. Oh, ban invading, I see. Well, that's honestly lame. But you can always do like Unity or something if you're still interested in coding. Big projects. I've been a part of Red Liberation, which still hasn't released. I consider it a big project because it's a big team and has about a year's of work in it. It's a war game. It's a, FPS game. I've also I almost became a developer for Metatable or Meta Index, whatever they're called. The people behind SCP Roleplay on Roblox. The only issue was that I wasn't able to commit 2 years at the time, so I had to turn their offer down. And so now I'm still unemployed. I just do what I want. Yay! Good thing I haven't been banned yet. Yeah, you gotta respect their rules, otherwise they'll be a bit upset with you. Did I make the remove? Sorry, I've just been chatting and chatting. I haven't been coding much. Where is remove item? I do check for the amount. I am going to make. Ooh. Item module. It was so stupid they barely gave me warnings. Like the bans were 1 day, 3 days, 1 day, 3 days, 1 day, then terminated. That's sad. Okay, I got banned once on Roblox, but that was because of a stupid reason. If the ban before termination was like 3 months, I'd stop. Yeah, like, they need a better warning. But either way, if you're getting banned, that should be warning enough to be like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Violating TOS, I should maybe stop. They gave me a few hours to wait and I was unbanned. Yeah, a lot of bans are quick, but they can be long as well. I'm not sure how they decide how long it is. Yeah, Ethan, that's a good question. How did you get banned, Sol? I need to somehow differentiate this. I'm gonna call this pickup. And then I'm gonna use the name of the prompt to... Yeah. Side. I'm gonna name this one Cell. Let's delete all of this just so. Then I can go over here. If prompt dot actually from types and then I can do actually wait, let's make this a table. Local prompt types is flat lowercase p, and then I can do function prompt types prompt types, and then I can call this one, what can I call this one? How did you get banned? Some friendly stuff anyways, but a 10-year-old me didn't understand about, oh yeah, I should stop this. Yeah. Hi Jenny, are you learning or what's happening? I'm just coding. just existing. Been coding for 10 years. I'm not the best. What I'm learning, however, is multitasking, because coding and talking to stream at the same time is a struggle. I did Python today, and now I forgot how to do a for I in range number loop in Luau. That's fun. It's always exciting when you're learning a different language and to start mixing things up. What's the game about you? It is going to be hopefully a Doors-inspired survival game, I guess. But it's not gonna look like Doors. I don't know how better to explain it. Don't really have a too clear of a direction. I'm just making the skeleton backend systems. You need, Ginny, I'm not gonna be asking for models because this is mostly meant to be a solo project, mostly so I can work on those extra additional skills outside of scripting. For example, making models with Blender, texturing, making UI, that sort of things. You know, it's to help me round my skills out a little. What was I doing? What game genres do you like? I like survival, I like horror. That honestly sums it up. I don't really like first-person shooters. They're a bit too quick for me. It's so much weirder than for I in range. Yeah, it is, Ethan. It is a bit weirder, but that's Lua for you. What was I doing? Prompt types. This is going to be a table of the types of prompts that exist. This is going to be a pickup type. And then this is going to run this there. This is going to have prompt, player, just to pass those through. I'm also going to prompt type, prompt.name, prompt type. Yes, I think that works. Actually, let's call this prompt function. And then there, that should be more runnable. Thank you for the subscription, dude Tomcat. Welcome to the stream. Oh, I already said hi. Hi! Again. My brain is in so many different places at once. I need more practice with this, but that's... yeah. That's the pickup type. I can also make the... not drop. I want this to be sell. Ooh. I'm probably not gonna handle that with prompts. That's gonna be temporary. This is gonna be temporary. Handled with UI in the future. Thank you. Yo, I do have 52 subs. That's awesome. Where am I from? I'm from Hungary, but I live in the UK. I speak English fluently. Hungarian I struggle a little with. Like, it might be my native tongue, but you know, I'm not really around Hungarian, so I don't get to practice it. And I stream in English, so here we are. Mr. Pasta, you're not a cat. You're a pasta. A pasta cat? Ooh, spaghetti cat. I might make a spaghetti cat. Only Mali and Ara are cats. Why do I have cats in my chat? Casta. Katsa? Casta. Shrug. Okay, I'll just print cell for now to see if this works. In theory, I should be able to pick the small cube up and then cell to the... pick the small cube up and then it'll print cell on the big cube. Okay, that works as intended and I didn't anchor that. Work, I guess. I like cats. Okay, they're cute. Wait, Mali still exists? I'm pretty sure Mali still exists. He's just probably hiding somewhere. Where's Mali? Mali, are you still watching? Say something in chat. Yeah, he still is around. My brother is still around. Yeah. I'm working on a game and I was wondering if you could give me some tips. When do people use Blender versus just doing things directly in Roblox Studio? That That depends completely on the style of your game. And honestly, you can just do whichever you want. For example, if you're making a blocky game, you could just have a blender mesh, a block with rounded corners, and then you can, just use that, use Roblox itself, and then, oh, that's why it's weird, because it's a group. And then you can just use that mesh part and build things from it. Or you can just use Blender and model everything. That's also completely fair. It's really up to you which one you prefer. I like to do a mix of both. Like for example, for environments, I like to make a couple basic shapes and then use that to build up the environment. However, if I'm making like a table or something, I'm gonna make that fully in Blender. I'm not the best in Blender, but I'm practicing. Some tips is don't work too much in one go. Like, it might be tempting, but you're gonna burn yourself out and then abandon the project, which I've done many times. An hour and 30 minutes in and no leader stats. It's the first thing I do, lol. Or is your currency system different? Honestly, I've been focusing on streaming, so my brain has been all over the place. I should make leader stats. Enderman, can I have an Ender Pearl? Mr. Baston, no, you cannot have an Ender Pearl. Tomcat is normally used for complicated models like realistic vehicles and UGC, while Roblox 3 is mostly used for basic models. Yeah, as Ethan said. I remember once I let my friend collab just for fun and was making some map and he used unions for half the stuff and the hitboxes were so and Devo Fox, so I'm not an Enderman. I might have purple eyes and have black fur, but I'm not an Enderman. What was I saying? Yeah, unions are horrible for hitboxes and topology, because Roblox is really bad at generating topology, which is why a lot of people just use Blender instead. You can still have horrible hitboxes if you don't set up your meshes right, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Ender Zoro / Ender Fox. Indeed. Fine, I'm an Enderman. You guys win, I'm an Enderman, okay? Since you guys insist. Okay. So Studio is usually used for building and stuff like that, but more detailed stuff is done with Blender. Yeah, I guess you could think about it like that. For example, if I were to make a building, I might make a brick mesh on Blender. I keep duplicating models. Let me just add another part. I might make a brick mesh and then use that to build up a wall. And then I might do extra things in Blender to add details, like I might have a sign, and then I would do the text in Blender. I might have a little bench out front, have that done in Blender. I might have a bit of a hanging plant over here. I'm gonna, make the hanging plant in Blender. It's for more smaller details. Well, you use the studio itself to put it together. That's how I like to think about it, at least. Who enderfied you? I did. The code did. Because I became an Enderman. It turned me into Ender. Here, usually, I am this orange little fox. This is me normally. But the code went and turned me into an Enderman. Yes, where was I? Oh yeah, leader stats. I usually do that with my player module. If I go into server storage, I make a folder, name it starter, player. I can go into player module and then on player added inside initialize player. I can have that be one of the first thing it does. Do I have a reference to? No, I don't. Local server storage is game get service server storage. No, that's script service. That's different. Storage, and then here I can do for I item in server storage dot starter player start player starter player. I'm also gonna rename that over here. starter player do local copy is item clone copy dot parent is player. There we go. And then I can just put a folder in here that's leader stats, and then I can put an int value that can be money. And with that, whatever I add in there, it will just be on the leaderboard in the top right. See? Easy stuff. You got any more forms? No, I only have the normal fox and the ender fox for right now. Silverberry tree. This is so fun to watch. As I'm a beginner, I feel like I'm learning a ton. I hope you're learning a ton, but whenever I say something, just feel free to double check me. Like, don't quote me on it because I don't actually know the technical specifications, like how to actually properly explain things. I just know the general layouts of things. Because everything I do is self-taught, so I've never been taught the proper terminology or wording. I just know the structures. I know how it's, know how it's written. What if you just went .parent and deleted it? What? Why would I just delete? Oh, you mean clone starter player into the player. The reason you can't do that is because if you ooh, actually. You give a good point. I could do something better. Is because if you deleted the top folder, it would delete everything under it as well. However, I can do this instead. Local folder is starter player clone. This will just do it. This will just tell Lua that I'm cloning a bunch of things. So hopefully, I think it'll be more efficient than cloning things individually. Folder do, and then I'll just do item.parent is player, and then the folder is just going to be a floating folder, so I don't want the memory leak. I'll just destroy that. Yeah, that works. Oh, hi Hydrix. What did you send that you retracted? Grr. Now I'll never know what you sent. That's evil. It's very evil. Oh damn, a lot of people are joining my Discord. Like Vulcan and Silver. That's fun. Ooh, that's gonna be... Who's Silver? Hey bro, can you help me for coding an obby? It's already ready, but I need a coder. Hydrix, not really, because I have this project going, and I have a history of spreading myself thin. So, like, recently I've had to quit, like, 4 different projects, just because I was everywhere. Why does this line not work? Block.size.y is Perlin... You can't edit the y individually. You need to edit the entire vector3. Wait, why is Butterscotch Vault with exe crashing? Why is it crashing? Stop crashing, come on. I need you to work. I really don't like when code crashes. It's annoying. Especially when it doesn't give you an error log, because then you don't know why it crashed. And it's like, broski, let me fix you. I need you to tell me how to do that, though. But yes, Ethan, that's leader stats done. One player presses W move. You could make a function like that, but you'd need to actually hook it into the user input service. I think that's the one you use for keyboard inputs. As for saving data, I'm gonna use a profile service I made. I'm not sure where I have this stored. I'll find that off stream and then I put it in here. It's a basic profile service I coded myself. saves data as a profile instead of individually saving. It handles data stores for me, so I don't have to worry about rewriting it again and again. Oh, and it doesn't work because when editing value inside variable, you use plus and not plus equals. Currently value plus. Oh, right. I didn't even see that. My brain just went, oh, that code doesn't work because you have to replace the whole vector instead of just one spot, and I just stopped reading. I just stopped reading at that point. Which then causes another bug to happen, which then is like, oh, it still doesn't work, and then you realize, oh, I see the problem. Like, if I didn't have an IDE, an integrated IDE, sorry, IDE, integrated development environment, I would be completely lost. I need the active feedback of like, oh wait, this is slightly wrong, I need to fix it. My brain doesn't have enough capacity for, you know, to just see what's wrong. Wait, can you upload videos about how to code the obby? I'm following you. How to coding the obby. The thing about me and uploading videos, it's the reason I stream, is I can't really edit. Meaning I don't have the skill set to edit, nor can my computer handle it. It usually crashes about halfway through, and because I forget to save, all that hours of work is gone. I really dislike making videos. That's why I stream instead. And it also makes it so I can engage live with you guys, which is pretty neat. Now I'm a talking fox. I'm a talky fox. Sorry. Just the very fact that I have a fox that responds to my character makes me happy. I'm a bit I'm easy to entertain. Yes, that's a good word for it. So I have money. I have that. For now, I am just going to have this take the items from the player's inventory and sell items. So local player object is player module get player object user ID. Ooh, actually, I'm probably gonna have this be another value in here. New player, the money is 0 to initialize that. Probably load from a profile and set that up, probably somewhere here. And then add a coding. Bro's talking, then randomly I'm a talking fox. Hey, look, I get distracted really easily. I have ADHD. So my brain jumps from one thing to another way too quickly. I don't want to distract you, but could you join my game real quick and tell me if my builds are horrible or good? I can't really judge them myself. If you're in my Discord server, I don't know if I have it set up properly. You should be able to send pictures inside media, and then I'm more than happy to give feedback on there. I got no rights, but it doesn't do anything. I sent code in DMs when you have time. It's about 20 lines. Oh, fun. What is this meant to be? Position no G vector 3. You know what? I'll look at that later. I'm getting way too distracted. I'm a hyperactive fox. Brain go brr. What am I trying to do? Trying to money. Yes. Player. Function. Base player. Edit. Value. No. Base player. Give money. And I can do take money. Actually, no, I'm gonna do increment. And then I don't need to have a get because I can just do player object dot money. That's fine. Amount is a number. I can just do self dot money plus equals amount. There. And I do actually want to do this. Do I have the player saved? Yes. Self dot player dot leader stats dot money dot value is self dot money, so that should update itself. Meaning if I do inside cell, I can do player object give no increment money and then do 20. That should also update in the leader stats. If I interact with the green cube, yep, okay, that works. Yes, you are. Yes, I am a talking fox. I'm a talkie fox. Sorry. No, no, I'm getting distracted again. Ah! Okay. I just fell off my chair. That is my fault. I got too excited, so instead of sitting, I started crouching on my chair. And then I lost my balance because it's a swivel chair. And then I went tumbling. Ethan, I'll take a look at it. You sent it, I'll take a look at it at some point. Yes, money, sell, yes, item. I need you to remove items. I can also just do print player object money. Hopefully. If it passes that, I'm not sure. Hydrix, if you want to learn how to code, look up Alvin Blocks. I think that's their name, Alvin Blocks. They have a couple good tutorials. I'm not the best teacher, which I've experienced with my little brother. I've tried to teach him, but I struggle at teaching things. So I'm not really the best person to go for that. How did you even make it talk? It's pretty simple. I use something called reactive for Discord. Basically, every time I'm in a Discord call, it picks up on my voice activity, and every time there's voice activity, it puts on a talking image, and when there's no voice activity, it puts on a non-talking image. And as for the fox itself, I drew him with vector art, so that's where we are. It's pretty simple. And then I just have him through a browser source on Streamlabs. No, not Streamlabs. OBS, just regular OBS. I don't use Streamlabs OBS, I use regular OBS. Because it's more customizable and it's less full of junk and bloat. Yeah. The reason I call this increment money because I can put a negative value in here and it should work just the same. So instead of positives, it's gonna go into negatives. Yeah. I did that so it's easy enough to change the money value. You just need to do type checking. I stream on Twitch every once in a century. Crazy. Send my builds on Discord. Could you take a look? Of course I can take a look. Ethan, Perlin noise value, I'm pretty sure returns a number between 0 and 1. If I remember correctly, though it has been 3 years since I made the terrain generator. Let's see. Oh, damn. Tomcat, those are some really good buildings. Like, okay, they're of course not perfect. They have a couple creases and edges, but overall they're pretty nice. Here. There, I wrote that down for you. Genuinely, if you keep working at that, you could probably be quite a big builder on Roblox someday. Also, you're really using shape to your advantage, which is really impressive to me, because your houses are not just a single block or 2 blocks. They have shape to them, like, they're unique, they're distinguished. I like them. It's really well done. I multiplied it by 10,000, but it still is weird. Again, Ethan, I'm not sure. I haven't done random generation in a couple years. I'm gonna have to do some research on it anyway for streams and procedural generation, but we'll see. Where was I? Yes, increment. And then just print. I don't need that print anymore. I also do want to grab every item in the inventory, so for item in player object dot inventory do local count equals 0, count plus equals, let's make everything worth 10 for the moment, 10 times item, and then we're going to increment the money by count. In theory, this should just count everything in the inventory, which is going to be 1. In fact, if I do it now, it gives me 0. If I pick up an item, okay, it gives me 10 each time. I also need to make it so it empties out the inventory. That means I need to do player object remove item this here, item name, item amount, there, name this item name, this is item amount, and for my own sanity, this is a string, and this is a number. There, in theory, this should take everything in my inventory and sell it. And then, yeah, it shouldn't increment anymore because it sold everything. That's perfect. Okay, my systems work. That's awesome. Bro, why is I multiply? I just started yesterday. I think the Minecraft skills carried over, so they're decent. Yeah, your buildings are really decent. Actually, they're quite impressive, Tomcat, especially since you said you just started yesterday. And creative skills from Minecraft building, for example, do carry over a lot. Because how do I explain this? When you're building in Minecraft, you're not practicing your ability to create. You're not practicing your ability to put blocks together in Minecraft, let's say that. You're practicing your creativity, your ability to use what is provided to you, and then shape it and put it in a way that is aesthetically pleasing. So a lot of creative jobs, for example, building in Minecraft carries over to building in Roblox. Especially building in Roblox because it has a really simple interface. It's not going to carry over to Blender. Your design capability will carry over to Blender. However, Blender is a lot more difficult to learn because it's more intricate. It's more, it has more keys, it has more tools to learn. It's not like, oh, you place a block, it's you grow the block, you change its surface mesh. Yeah, it does stuff. But yeah, creativity is always nice because it is commutative. Commutative? Is that even a word? I don't know. Basically, it carries over. What'd you send me, Ethan? Oh, you made it sort of work. Oh, Ethan, I'll send you pictures of what I went through for my terrain generation after the stream. It's scary amount. When it comes to grass, trees, and stuff like that, I know absolutely nothing. How is that stuff usually done? Do people make their own tree models or use free ones? Well, you can use free ones if you can't really be bothered, but I always recommend making your own things because that gives practice. You can make your own tree models quite decently. For example, I'm a really big fan of a blocky style, you know, being from Minecraft and all. So I would just genuinely just go, oh, here's a part. That's the trunk. You can rotate it a little. Make that be a branch, for example. You know, give it a brown color. And then you add a block for leaves. And then make that green, you know, tree. And then you can add a couple extra blocks to make it have more shape. And you have a basic whatever kind of tree this is. And then I'd personally add a couple extra different greens in here, you know, just to give it a bit of variation. And boom, tree. That's if you're going for a blocky style. Base value of 1 is always better to start with because then you don't have an issue of it becoming 0 or, you know, because 0 is a bit hard to interpret sometimes for a computer. But then again, back to trees, Katamka, you can use free ones or make one in Blender, which would be more detailed than this. It would probably be a cylinder. I might do Blender in the next time I stream game development, but I might do UI instead. I don't know. Depends how far I get overall. I just realized I've already written over 126 lines of code. That's while talking. That's a little scary. One thing I completely forgot to do is get myself a drink. I'm gonna go get myself a drink before I make the same mistake I did on my Minecraft stream the other day, where my throat was so sore after because I simply didn't drink. Hydrate, people, it's important. Alrighty, I am back. I've got on myself a, well, it's a passion fruit punch. You put it in water, and it tastes pretty good. Keeps me hydrated. What, why are all the things the same size? Well, I don't know. Don't know what you're coding a terrain gen, right? Yeah. Hydrate with pickle juice. I'm not gonna get pickle juice, Sol. Why would I get pickle juice? Where would I even get pickle juice from? I don't think we have pickles at home. Like, I'm not gonna get up and go to the store at 6 p.m., Meister Pasta. It's dark outside. And now I can't teleport either before you even consider saying that. I don't got teleportation abilities. I might be an Enderman, but I don't TP. Where am I? Oh, right. I keep losing track of what I'm working on. Inventory system done. Leader stats done. I was gonna say you have an ender pearl. I don't have ender pearls, Mr. Pasta. Oh, hi, Billy. Nice of you to show up to the stream for once. What you up to? I'm just coding and living life and struggling. First stream. Yeah, I know it is the first stream you joined. Even though you've been in my Discord server since day one. I'm just gonna double check if I can still pick multiple things up because... Yeah, seems like so. Okay, that's good. Of course I'm happier today. I'm over here streaming with and chatting to all you guys. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Spending time with my fans. Talking, making games. I love making games. Take my mind off of things. I already ran out of my drink. I need a bigger glass. It'll be fine. I can survive another 2 hours without another drink, I think. The funny thing is, I need YouTube ideas. What do you mean you need YouTube ideas? Just sit down, do what you enjoy. You know? What games I play? Mostly Minecraft. That's all I do lately. I play Minecraft and I develop game. Well, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I haven't done game development in a second. Want to make my channel active? Go on then, Billy. Just sit down, do what you enjoy, record it, edit it, upload it. Ethan, I am terrified. I'm gonna avoid our DMs like the plague for a bit. That is genuinely concerning. Oh, I have a question for you guys. Since I do two types of streams, I do development streams and I do gaming streams, should the stream crown be different? Because, of course, some people that watch the gaming streams are not going to be interested in the dev streams, and some people that watch the dev streams are going to be interested in the gaming streams. So on the Discord server, should I have two different roles? One would be just gaming stream crown, and the other one would be the development stream crown. Just to, you know, give it a bigger dynamic. Yeah? Okay, I'll set that up after this stream. They'll still access the same, you know, extra category, but they'll just be slightly differentiated on the leaderboard. Not the leaderboard, the sidebar. What do you mean you just realized the layout, Billy? So also what you're making right now, I went inactive for a couple. I actually don't know. Latest thing I made is the ability to sell the things in your inventory. And then I sorta don't know what to work on next. We'll see. I don't even know what's happening to the terrain. Well, figure it out, Ethan. With analysis and output etc separated. Well, yeah. It's just okay, basically I have an ultra wide monitor. So to me the entire layout looks completely different than what you guys see. I had to break it up so it's more displayable on a actual, you know, YouTube stream. So it doesn't look weird with black bars all the way around. Operation Champ FPS game. No, it's not a first-person shooter. I don't like first-person shooters. They're evil. Okay, let me rephrase that. They're too fast-paced for me. I'm a bit slow. I might be hyperactive in the brain, but my reaction time is super slow. Billy, what is the game? It is gonna be a dungeon crawler. You know, sort of like Doors, I guess if you can call that a dungeon crawler. A dungeon crawler horror game with roguelite elements where you go in, you pick stuff up. Oh, and survival. You go in, pick stuff up, you can eat, drink water, you know, so you survive. You have a stamina you need to manage, monsters to get away from. And then when you leave the area, you can bring some supplies back, sell those, and sell those, and then you can get money, which then you can buy extra, like a bigger backpack, more resources, you know, that sort of stuff. What do you mean bend parts? How can you bend parts into it? You can't really bend them. Like, they're rigid. Like, you can resize them, you can move them, and you can rotate them, but that's about it. You can't really make bends. You need a blender for that. Or you need to combine multiple parts. That's also an option. For example, if I take this and this, I rotate this 45, and then I line it back up with the corner. Oh my god, that is annoying. Come on, behave. Fine, I'll just rotate from the corner as a pivot point. There, that's the closest you're gonna get to bending parts on Roblox. Also check my ping. Billy, I have 17 pings from your community. 17. I don't check them. I'm relatively busy. I'll check it later, okay? Jesus, Ethan, what is going on with your terrain generator? Why is it a 90? Okay. Okay, I'm just, you know, good luck, Ethan. Good luck, Ethan. That's all I can say. I don't know what is going on there for you. Check streams. You will like it. What do you mean I will like it? Oh. Oh. Oh, hi. Okay. Did you really just announce my stream as one of your... Okay, thank you. What gets more fame, Minecraft or dev so far? Well, this is my first development stream, and this stream has gone up to 11 viewers, which is 4 viewers higher than my biggest Minecraft stream. So I'd say development, just from the preliminary sort of analysis. So I'm gonna have to check up on stream the stream review after. Okay, I've just been sitting here. I need to do more coding. Coding. Otherwise, this will never be done. I don't want to do. Do I want to do? No, I don't want. I don't want to do room generation yet because I honestly don't know how I'm gonna do that. Like, I need to do some research, which would take time, and I don't want to show that on stream because it would be boring. Boring. Yes, keep calling. Talkie, Foxy. Talking Fox. Sol, you've replaced my brain with Talkie Fox. I'm just trying to think of what I'm gonna do, but now all I can think about is Talking Fox. You're evil. Okay. I could probably make a... health and... Yeah, okay. Where is initialize player? New player dot hunger. Jesus Christ, no, thank you. Stop. New player dot thirst. Actually, I'm probably gonna handle these as percentages. Yeah, percentage works. I just failed to save, that's lame. Okay, percentage. Inside here, I'm gonna make another script. This is gonna be tick handler. If you guys have played Minecraft, there is the tick. There's 20 ticks every second. meaning the game is simulated every 20 seconds. I'm gonna have a tick per second just for this, which I'm gonna do via run service. Let me get my, here, I'll just copy this. Paste this over here. I don't need collection service. Ooh, actually, I do need collection service. And I'm gonna have a event named tick. Yes, tick, handle event name, collection service event, tick, and it's gonna do require the module, run the tick event. Okay. Over here we're gonna have run service. Local run service is game get service run service, and we're gonna do run service dot heartbeat. Ooh, that is just a built-in function though. Heartbeat. That's a tick. Technically a tick. I could just, do I need to make a tick? Wouldn't be precisely on a second. Do I make it a tick? Now, I'll just ignore this whole thing. I'm not making a tick. There is no point because heartbeat already exists. Player module. I'm gonna do here new player dot no. I don't want to do that either. Oh, thank you for the $1 tip, Billy. This should make up for the 50 you gave me when I did YouTube. Wild. 1 for 50 is crazy, Billy. Also, TTS doesn't work on that, sadly. Maybe when I'm monetized, I'll actually be able to do super chats, which will have TTS. I hope. That'd be cool. I love having a locomotive in my damn inventory. Yeah, you can just have a locomotive in there. I mean, yeah, you did blimp me. That's 6,000 Robux I can't really use for anything. That's just sitting there currently. Probably gonna use it for advert money or something. What am I doing here? What am I doing? I don't... do I want multiple connections or will one central connection do? One central connection would line everything up, so it would be more in sync. Does that matter? You know what? Ignore me again. I'm gonna make ticks. Because I can't make my brain up. Tick handler. This is gonna be collection service event tick. And then this is gonna be, I need a run service, local run service is game get service, run service. This might be completely stupid, but this is how I'm gonna do it, and I don't care. Run service dot heartbeat connect function delta time local elapsed is 0 elapsed plus equals delta time if elapsed is less than 1, then return less than or equal to 1, and then actually no, less than makes sense. Elapsed becomes 0 again, and it's gonna handle event tick. Tick. No, actually, Just handle event. It's a little different here. This is module dot pick. There. I fixed it and added color. Ooh, let me check on this. Let's see. Ooh, that is really nicely made, Ethan. That's actually pretty cool. That's better than mine. Add the bug ticks. No, I'm not adding actual ticks. Okay, so technically every second it should fire a tick event. Hopefully. Meaning if I go into player and go up to event handling, function module dot pick, I can for underscore v for this in players do player object in players do. I can do let's say every let's say your hunger goes down by 10% every minute. 10 divided by 60. 10 div 60, that is 0.1. 0.1 in percentage is, well, 0.1%. That's 10, wait. What? 10. Oh no, I need 10%. 10% is 0.1. Div 60, 0.001. Okay. Player object dot hunger minus equals that, and player object dot thirst minus equals that. Print player object dot hunger and player object dot thirst. So every second that should print. Oh no. Require module event tick event tick. It exists. Wait. Print module dot name, just that. It experienced an error, incomplete statement. Oh, I'm a little stupid. Okay, that works now. Yeah, and it goes down a little every time. That's nice. Check media. Let me look at media. Roblox scripting be like hand in hand with bugs. Please don't break my game. No, I'm not gonna bribe the bugs. Yeah, it's hard to debug. That's why it's important to keep clean code, because then you sort of know what is where. It's easier to find. Okay, in theory, the ticks should decrease hunger and thirst at the given rate, which is decent enough. I don't want you to print though constantly, that's annoying. Diva, will you stream for 4 hours? Yeah, I'm doing a 4-hour stream like all the other streams. Like, it is always a 4-hour stream. So I have like an hour and a half to go if I see that correctly. I'll also be right back. I need to use the bathroom. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that. Hey, I just got back, Sol. I'm a talking fox and I am back. I don't leave for good. It's only a couple moments. Okay, let's see. Damn, this stream has 9 likes. That is a lot, actually. I'm not used to this much. This development is more interesting than Minecraft. So, hunger and thirst goes down. Check media. Okay. Damn. Nice. What if you... It's pretty small. What if you made it bigger? Like, more height differentiation. You know, like multiply the noise by like 2? Or 4? I don't know. Just make it so it actually has more texture. I feel like would be played smaller too. Don't make them too small. Because then that takes up more processing. What you should do is have 2 sets of purlin noise. Have one be your texture, which is what you have right now. And then have another purlin noise that is just purely for mountains. Have the range be bigger, so it's more smooth overall. And then have the defined mountain regions. And if a plane happens to fall into a mountain region, make it so it's taller. You know, so it multiplies its height by a little, you know? That should give more variation in terrain. That's what I kind of did, but it looked weird. I don't know. You gotta experiment with it. You gotta change the sizing, that sort of stuff. Because you can actually change the resolution of Purlin noise if I remember correctly. I don't know how to do it though, because like I said, it's been ages. Okay, every tick, hunger and thirst goes down. Yeah. You know what the not so exciting part is? Can you bless me with knowledge about lighting in studio? Well, that's a whole topic in itself that I'm not the most familiar with. Basically, if you look in Explorer, you have lighting. This is what you can edit. If you click add, there's a couple effects to it. I honestly just suggest messing around with it. My favorite one to mess around with is color correction. Because with color correction, you can go and make everything be a rave. It's a disco party. Sorry. But yeah, lighting's fun. You can make a bunch of cool effects. I don't know it like deeply, or you know, don't know much about it, but it works. Sorry, that's really unhelpful, I know. Like I said again, I'm mostly a Cody boy. Code. What are you making? I am making a game that is a survival dungeon crawler. Sort of like Doors, but not really. Don't really have too clear of a vision yet. I'm just making the skeleton systems for it. For example, the inventory system, the leaderboard, that sort of things. Player systems. I have, for example, I just made a tick system, meaning every tick, which is every second for my game, every second your hunger and thirst goes down. And this is calculated so it goes down by 10% every minute. by 10% every minute. It's pretty neat. Are you gonna solo dev the whole thing? Yes, that is the plan, Tomcat. If there's something I really can't do, I might bring one of my dev friends on to help me out for a bit, but other than that, it's gonna be a solo project. I'm also probably gonna do development on it off stream, just so I can get some more boring and more, some more boring parts and get more progression on the game. But we'll see how things work. For example, did you do that before? What do you mean? Nothing is boring when there's a talking fox. Okay, Sol. Is there a talking fox that entertaining to you as well? Which part are you referencing, Thumbcam, by the way? Solo dev. Yeah, most of the time that's what I did. However, I've worked on a couple group projects, like the last one, which I just quit recently because it was poorly managed, Red Liberation. It had like 8, 10 center devs. I led the development effort being the lead developer, but yeah. I ended up leaving because the actual owner of the things was refusing to manage anything or moderate the Discord. It was a bit of a upsetting time. 2x2 grid rather than 4x4 and make rock and snow steeper. Ooh, that is actually really nice. You could use that for a whole game, you know, Ethan? Like maybe an RTS, you know? You named your train stop in Factory Talking Fox. I'm gonna need a picture of proof on that in media. I need to see this. Okay, what could I make? Let me think. What is the latest project? What's going on? Hi, Mixie. Hi, Mixie. You showed up as well? we Sol was just talking about you earlier. I'm surprised both of you showed up out of nowhere. What's going on? I'm just coding a game, working on it, enjoying life, talking to you guys. Not doing much right now, I'm just staring and chatting. I should probably put the chatting tag under the stream. Currently I've made a quick inventory system that you can pick stuff up, put them in the inventory, and you can sell it for money. I also have a tick system that slowly decreases the tick system that basically is the game loop, sort of like Minecraft, that decreases the player's hunger and thirst. It's decent. I added random seeds and it's so much better. Did you send more pictures? Ooh. That is indeed so much better. Oh, that is okay, because you use a different seed for each. Okay. And you did name the stop the Talking Fox. What are you gonna be delivering to it? Iron, coal, or is it an oil depot? It would be cool if it was an oil depot. I see salt. Yeah, that is pretty cool. You actually named it that. What are you gonna be delivering to it by train? Probably stuff. Fair enough. Is it gonna be biter bodies? The bodies of my enemies. That'd be funny. Let's see. I would get Factory, but it's way too much right now. Yeah, you should wait until there is a sale on Steam. I don't know if they do that on the regular. Ethan, that is the same way I felt when I made my terrain generation system. It's cool. So I have Factorio Space Age. It is pretty cool if I do say so. Much cooler than the base game, especially because of the elevated rails. Those are cool. What? Oh, I never stopped it. I was confused for a second. Okay. Apparently adds to... Yeah, it does double the content. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it is super cool. It does cost a lot. It is basically a whole extra game on top of the game, so it does make sense, to be fair. Ethan, satisfactory? Really? You've betrayed the 2D lords and went 3D? How dare you? And satisfactory worlds are not randomly generated. Factorios are. So much more replayability. To be fair, Satisfactory also has replayability because you can build you can build the factories in so many different ways. Yes, terrain generation Ethan made is pretty cool. Like really cool actually. What was I doing? I zoned out. Brain work, please. Man, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. I barely have anything done. I need to work on this more. Sell, UI? Whenever I hear such read satisfactory, I hear the let's game it out. Oh my god, no, Mixie! Mixie, that's gonna be stuck in my head now. Bro, the spiral of doom. Or tornado, or whatever he called it. The lag machine that his factory is. Ah. I love the guy. He does crazy things. He probably does hours and hours. Like, he definitely does hours and hours of work. It's Hello, it's Joss. Welcome back to Let's Game It Out. Yes. Ah. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Okay, big tiles don't exactly work. What's wrong with big tiles? Are they evil? Or is your purlin noise too fine? You need to broaden your purlin noise out, I think. I'm gonna make a lookup table, which is going to be, I'm just gonna call it info. This is gonna be items. This is gonna be a table of items. I'm also gonna rename that to there. And I'm gonna use this as like a central spot for data. So I'm gonna do items dot test because that's an item I have. And it's going to cost or value actually. Let's make it worth 5. And then I can come to the cell here and I can make it have a lookup of local item info is require server script service info items. If I can spell. Oh Jesus. Autofill is annoying. Oh yeah, that is interesting. Though, Ethan, that is because your purlin noise is too fine. You need to diffuse it, you need to make it broader, you need to make it bigger. Basically it's taking multiple points of the purlin noise and using it. I don't remember is the thing. There is a helpful video on YouTube somewhere, which is what I use, but I don't remember. You're basically increasing its grid size, I guess. It's the best way I can describe it, though my brain hurts trying to think about it. I just used trial and error. Fair enough. What was I doing? Well, oh yeah, cell. Lookup table. This is going to be item info, item name dot value times item amount. I think that is correct. Dot value, okay. So in theory, if I pick up 1, 2, and 3, that should give me 15 coins. Attempt to index nil with test. Oh. This is not at all right. This should be item info. There. 1, 2, 3. Cell 15. Another one, another 5, another one, another 5. Okay, that works as intended. What do people use to design UI? Say if I want to make a health bar that's really intricate, where do I design that? Figma. That's all I can really say. Here, let me add a window capture. And then here. This is going to be a bit weird because I have the ultra wide monitor and it's going to be overlaid. Just use Photopea or Photoshop, then import the image into your frame or UI object. Yeah, you can use Photopea and Photoshop. Personally, I just use Figma for everything. I use Figma to design my fox with vector art. I like this grid because you can just, create whatever vector you want. It's pretty neat. That's what I use to create my fox, my background, flag for NationCraft, the map for NationCraft. Yeah, a couple other UI elements. This was for Billy, my friend. Yeah, I also used this for this thumbnail today. Yeah, Figma can do a lot. My favorite is the vector art. For example, if I zoom in onto one of these foxes, they are fully vectors. So I can really easily just make adjustments and other things if I find the right one actually. Here, see? It's pretty cool. This is what I'm going to be using. Yes, infinite resolution with vectors and SVG. Oh yeah, sleeping fox. This is what I use as my Discord's image. I'm also gonna make a be right back screen using this and make a Ender Fox version. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be using for UI for this game as well, since it's what I know how to use. And yes, with Ethan, like you said, with vectors you get infinite resolution without having to rescale and deal with blurriness. I need to remove this because this is starting to annoy my output. This can go as well. Font. Yeah, font. Wait, you can turn vectors into font, can't you? I just had a stupid idea. I just messed something up. No, I didn't actually. I thought I pulled some of my UI around. I'm gonna make a text font. Now, No, I'm too lazy. I'm a lazy fox. I'm a sleepy fox. Yeah, I'm a sleepy fox. Okay, starter GUI, screen GUI, frame, inventory. Where's this frame? There. Let's just do this for now. Background transparency 0.5, make it black so it's not the most intrusive. And then add a UI corner. Also, size, fix it so it's scale instead of 0, 0. Oops. There we go. Bit of UI. Simple, nothing crazy. Let's make the UI corner bigger though. That is a little too big. 0.2. Okay. Now. 0.5. 0.5 works. 0.05 works. I'm building a street lamp and I want it to produce light, so I just have a part that has glow material something, or is there a way I can... Okay, so if I go into lighting and set the time of day to midnight, it becomes dark. With Roblox, if you have a part, you can actually put a light part in it. Let's say a spotlight. I think this is just normal Roblox that visualizes this. Though I do have a plugin, or at least used to have a plugin. I don't anymore, that used to show lights. Point is, it is an actual light object that increases the brightness of things. You can change things like the angle. You can change the brightness. You can change the color. You can enable shadows, which takes up, stuff. Extra processing power, but you need shadows if you want a decent looking game. And you can also increase the range. There's a couple types of lights, but yeah, you can make a proper working light. Nice, Soul. What kind of train is it? What are you storing on it, or is it just a train for now? Yes, I'm gonna undo this because I don't need a random floating light. Why does my local have red underline? What do you mean it has a red underline? What did you do? Just a train, still figuring stuff out. Alright, so. What I am trying to do with this UI though is I want a scrolling frame, which I'm gonna have no background on. Size is going to be 1010, and I want the canvas size to be 0 as well, but I do want the automatic canvas size on Y. In theory, if I add a list layout, and then a frame, I should be able to, yes. Okay, that works. Let's change the size of this to 10, 10, and then Y can be like 0.1. Yeah, that works. Why do I feel like Roblox Studio is harder to work with than Godot? I don't know, Mixie. I find Studio easier to work with than Godot. Like, I've worked with Godot and I just don't get it. It's confusing. Like, I prefer this. Background transparency, I'm also gonna make this 0.5. Oops, I'm selecting the wrong thing. This 0.5. And then that adds on top. Lip descendants, I think. No, this is meant to be a canvas. Canvas group, which is a bit different than a frame. As in, it contains everything more properly. Let me just set this up. There, and then I can just throw everything in here. There, that's neater. A lot neater. It's the same with every game engine, you just gotta learn it and it seems really easy and others seem hard. Yeah, fair enough. I replaced some German name with Token Fox. That Toki Foxy. Toki Foxy, Toki Foxy, Toki Foxy, Toki Foxy. I need list layout down there. Toki Foxy. Sorry, that's making me go crazy. Okay, I'm just gonna have a text label in here. 10, 10. Background transparency of 1. Text color of white. And then scaled. Check media. Media. Ender Fox and Talking Fox. Okay. Base. And then folder. Item base. I can put that in replicated storage for the moment. And then I can do something like this. Function. No. Function. Setup. Handle UI and UI player item model. Yes. Probably gonna have to do this differently and have an inventory module separate from the item module. We'll just have it like this for now. If not player GUI, oopsie, dot screen GUI, dot canvas group, dot scrolling frame, find first child, item name, local UI, sure. And then we have that. If not UI, then we'll go into replicated storage. Local replicated storage is game get service replicated storage. Replicated storage, oops, local copy is replicated storage dot item base clone. Copy dot name is item name. Amount is gonna be a number. This is temporary. I'm gonna move this somewhere else. I just want to see if I can get it to work. copy dot parent equals that, and this is going to be UI is copy UI dot where is it text label dot text is, let me just double check that is the correct property. That is the correct property. It's gonna be item dot name times amount. Okay. Over here, when we do pickup item, I'm gonna do this. Player item, no, just item, and it's gonna be 1. Wait, no. Pickup item, player object, return player, return, ooh. Okay, I'll just do this here. I'm gonna have the amount removed. And then y local amount is player object dot inventory item dot name. Yeah, I think that's fine. So in theory, everything is going to error. Oh, no, it just works perfectly. It it just works perfectly. Okay. I'm also going to do, this is the wrong thing. Where did I do the, there, player item. And over here, I'm gonna do that. Okay, let's change this up. This is gonna be item name, which is a string. Item name, because we don't use it for anything else anyway. Item name. Item name. Item name. And then here, item dot name instead. So in theory, yeah, that just works. The first case of jinxing have a good, yes, I jinxed it in the wrong direction. I do want, however, if amount is equal to 0, then UI destroy return. So if it is 0, then it will just kill it. Alright, yeah, that just works. That's awesome. I'm super surprised that works. And in theory, if I make another object and name these something else, like block, and then color them a different color just so they're more differentiable. Copy that, and then items dot block is, and give it a value of 10, for example. Should be able to just yoink, 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 and it's 2 different items. Okay, I'm surprised that just worked. Things don't usually work out for me like that, especially with UI. UI is evil. No, it seems I've done enough to the point where it just works now. That's cool. I've done it enough times where I actually remember what needs to be done and I don't error a bunch. That is actually pretty neat. Reloading generation in game without resetting in studio works now. Oh, that is cool. That is really cool, Ethan. Delvey. Who is Delvey, Mr. Pasta? Who is Delvey? Who's Delvey, Mr. Pasta? That is not me. I'm Devo. I'm not Delvey. Who's Delvey? Please do tell. Oh, no, I need H-check for chat on Roblox now. Okay, that is depressing. I am not Delvey, Mr. Pasta. I'm Devo. There's a difference. Scabby. What is Scabby? That that doesn't even make sense. You're confusing. My head hurts. Still have an hour to do. I have an inventory system. What else do you want me to do? Oh, inventory full still works. I completely forgot about that. Inventory full is still a thing. Huh. Function base player count items. Return. Actually, let's just do this. There, return count. And this can be just self dot inventory. And then I can remove this. And then this is going to cry, but I can just do base player count items. There, that just works. It's Delvo, not Delvey. It's Devo. It doesn't have an L. Where are you getting the L from? Okay. That is such an old reference, Mr. Pasta. Don't worry about it, Soul. He's going crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. Sorry. Okay, so in theory, if I were to make another text label over here and make this, oh, come on. Background, 0. Let me move you. Hello? Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Size. Here, fucking give me your background. There we go. Do. Text 0 of 0. Add Mr. Pass to your game, but it said heal item. What? Pass the ball with legs. Oh my god. Why would I? Okay. Dot text. Table dot text is no. That is not what I want. Player object. Count items out of player object dot storage limit. In theory, that should add a counter and tempted to iterate. What do you mean nil value? Oh, because it's not. Okay. Count items. Inventory is a table, maybe. Inventory is inventory or self-inventory. And then over here, I can just do self.inventory, I think. Because that's different. Nope, that doesn't work. Attempt to and oh, because I didn't actually change the line of code. This is meant to be not self.inventory, this is meant to be inventory. There. Let's see. Yep, okay, that works now. Ooh, that's concerning. Why doesn't it reset? Why don't you reset amount? You are handle UI. When I sell, you're meant to handle UI as well. Oh, because it... Okay. This, I need to move around because it returns here. There. Now, in theory... When I sell, okay, it resets. Nice, counter works. Okay, I lost track of how complicated was your terrain gen code. It was about 100 lines. It's nothing too bad. It was modular as well, so you had generation parameters and then you'd call it from a handler to tell it what to do. I've been AFKing the stream at this point. Stop AFKing, Billy, come interact. You'll never get XP like this. Pasta plate with a mustache is crazy. Add train tracks and a drivable locomotive. With this style of game, there probably won't be train tracks with a locomotive. I'm back. I want to learn raycasting. Might turn the terrain into a little village building sim. Oh, that'd be cool. Mine is 46 lines. Yeah. That's very decent for a bit of code. Do keep in mind for my terrain generator, it's not just a terrain generator, it's also a feature generator, meaning it generates trees. It doesn't actually generate trees, it puts trees around. So it generates forests, it generates lakes, that sort of stuff. So it has a couple generation types in it. I'm learning coding just to make a talking fox simulator. Crazy soul. That is crazy. Stop being crazy. That's illegal. Something. Wow, I'm getting tired. Didn't sleep too well. I might actually end the stream early, especially thinking that especially because I'm honestly out of ideas of what to work on. And I'm hungry. I need to get dinner. I don't want to eat on stream. You know what? For the first time ever, I'm gonna be ending stream a bit early. I apologize for that. Next stream is I'm away to stream on. Please donate once the cat calms down. Crazy. But Talking Fox. Look, I'm sorry. I'm tired. Oh, Wilkin's still around. My apologies, guys. I am genuinely way too tired and hungry for this right now. My next stream is probably going to be a Minecraft stream on, let's see, on Sunday. But if you guys want, I'll put up a vote for Monday's stream. It can either be a dev stream like today, or it can be a Minecraft stream. Same time as today, Vulcan. So from 1600 to 2000 on one more dev stream. Dev. Okay, Monday I'll do a dev stream. Okay. I was gonna do a Discord poll. Why does... Okay. Monday I'll do a dev stream around the same time as today. I'll do a gaming stream the day before on Sunday, I think it was. If you guys join my Discord server, which is linked in the description, I have a schedule. That should show you the relative times in your time zone because I use the timestamp generator. So on Sunday, it'll be a gaming stream, and then on Monday, it'll be a development stream. Anyways, thank you people for watching. It's been fun. Can't wait to see you guys next stream. This Talking Fox is heading out to sleep and eat. Have a good one. Though I'm probably gonna be in a voice chat on my Discord for a bit if you guys want to chat while I eat. Anyways, good night.